Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. The Rome Capitol Theater and more is what we're going to be talking about. Our guests are Art Pierce. Art is the executive director, and his wife, Kylie, who is development director. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you so much.
Lots going on at the Rome Capitol Theater, but to say that you're executive director and development director of the Rome Capitol would be a misnomer, correct, Art? Because there's more than just a theater now.
That's true. We are calling ourselves the Capitol Arts Complex because in addition to the Capitol Theater, which is the 1928, 1,788 seat theater, we also have the smaller Cinema Capitol, which is a two-screen independent cinema. Very small auditoriums. One is 71, one is 53 seats. And now we have a third building as well, which we have not opened to the public, although it's in use now practically daily for rehearsals and exhibitions and set building, things like that. It will eventually become a public performance space as well.
And there's a fourth building up there.
There's a fourth building that we own. Brenda's Natural Foods is our tenant. She is on the main floor there. We also have a basement which we use for storage, and if you have a complex as active as ours is, you know that storage is kind of important, and it's something we never really had before. And it's got a third floor there, or a second floor actually, that's not developed yet, and we're going to be using that for offices.
And that's come a long way since the first time you were ever on this show, Art. That's going back a long ways. But back in the day, all you had was the theater.
Yeah, the good old days when we had just one building.
Yeah. Now, all of this is costing money.
Yes.
And it's going to cost more money. And you, as the development director, are responsible for helping raise that money. You're in the midst of a capital campaign now.
Yes, that's true. We just kicked it off, was it last week now?
Tuesday, yeah.
Tuesday.
2 weeks.
It feels like a year since then. But we have a capital campaign with a total goal of $5.25 million, but we've already raised $3.75 million. So we're going to be asking the public to help us raise the rest of the 1.5.
Where did that money that you've already raised come from, Kylie?
Well, a lot of it came from private contributions. We made a lot of one-on-one asks of people, and we also had grant funding. We've been very successful in getting grants.
And how are you going to raise the rest of it?
Well, the rest of it is, it's a lot more public involvement. We're going to have a lot of special events, a lot of opportunities to give smaller contributions, restaurant night, corporate events, different open houses. So we're going to really, it's kind of like diversifying a stock portfolio. You're going to kind of do as much as you possibly can.
And you've got an open house coming up, right? Yeah.
Yes, we do. June 11th, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a Tuesday, is it a Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8, it's we'll talk about our restoration and our renovation of some of the other buildings. It's kind of an informal thing. There'll be tours and there'll be some presentations on the screen of basically video of what we've accomplished so far and where we're going with it. And it's free, and we also have free popcorn and free drinks. So.
Which is appealing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Let's talk about where you've come from. 1928.
That's right.
Am I correct? The building opened, and it looks much the same as it did then. The blade sign is gone, though.
The vertical sign and the marquee are gone. They were taken down. The original ones were taken down in 1939. They were replaced with a newer style, a neon, a big neon structure. And the blade sign was actually gone. It was not replaced. And what we're doing is restoring the original 28, I say restoring, we're recreating, because that's long gone, of course, the 1928 marquee and vertical sign. So that'll be something that probably next year we will see back on the building again.
The downtown area of Rome is really good. I was thinking about this earlier. The downtown area of Rome is really going to be the beneficiary of all this. I mean, once more bodies come in there, that's going to just do wonders for downtown, yes?
We've seen it already, and I mean, Kylie and I will talk about this sometimes between ourselves, and that just to see the changes that have happened in the last decade, because used to be, there was, there were a few banks and a couple of stores that were kind of surviving after the urban renewal thing, but downtown was really not particularly active. Now it's extremely active, and one of the reasons why Rome got $10 million downtown revitalization initiative funds was because we do have a downtown that's coming along. This money is going to help it, but it's not like you're putting money into something that's not doing anything. Just ourselves, just the Capitol complex, we are doing 1,400 performances a year now. There's something every day. And that was one of our initial goals. We were inspired by Proctor's in Schenectady. We took a tour down there, and they said, there's something going on here every day. Because they've got a bunch of other venues, not just the main theater. And we said, that's something for us to shoot for, to have something going on at the Capitol every day, something going on downtown Rome now every day. May not be a huge show. We may only get 10 or 15 or 20 people. But it doesn't matter because we are offering something now. So there's always something happening. And we often find that there's something going on at the Capitol as well as the Cinema Capitol next door. And maybe in our back building as well. Like a couple of days ago, we had summer stage auditions in our back building. We also had a show on stage at the Capitol. We had movies playing at the cinema all at the same time. And you can imagine what this really does for the downtown area. It brings an awful lot of activity and creates, I think, more enthusiasm and also encourages developers to get involved and bring their businesses downtown.
So what are you doing when you get all those bodies in there, what are you doing for parking?
That's a good question. Parking is something that has not been really an issue.
It's a very popular question.
Until recently. And now it is a huge issue. And there was a large parking garage right behind the Capitol facilities. And it was one of those things where it had, right from the start, they had issues with it over the years. They had other issues. They kept throwing money into it. And at some point it got closed. It was never open. Well, in my time, let's say, the last 15 years that I've been there, it was never open in the evening. So it did no good for us as far as shows went. Now, after being closed for almost 2 years, entirely closed for almost 2 years, they've finally decided to take it down, and they're using some of this downtown revitalization money to do that. And in fact, as we speak, it is virtually entirely down.
Almost entirely.
Yeah,
There
I was
will
looking at a picture of it the other day.
So
It's going to be a flat.
Yeah, it may sound like a contradiction, but they're taking down this parking garage to create parking, because now there will be surface lot parking, which will be open all the time, and that'll make a huge difference to us.
Is it going to be paid parking?
No, it's free parking, free public parking.
Yeah, I can see where that's going to make a huge difference. We're going to talk about how people can make a difference in contributing to the Rome Capitol complex. We come back. Kylie and Art Pierce are our guests. They're from the Rome Capitol Theater. Lots going on up there, and we'll tell you what's scheduled to go on up there in terms of performances. Short break, right back.